Buffalo Brother George, how are you?
I'm great. How about you, Buffalo brother John?
I'm doing good. Do you know what the Bills record is right now?
8-2
Isn't that something?
after 10 games.
That's right. If they only could stop here.
Now, let's talk about that briefly. We initially made our guess. I thought they were going to win 11 games, and I've later revised that to 12. You thought they were going to win 9 games,
Mm-hmm.
and you revised that to 8.
No.
No, I'm sorry, to 10.
Okay.
So out of the next 6 games, you're saying they're going to go 2-4.
Oh, yeah.
And
Well, I thought they wouldn't be 8-2 at this.
mhm,
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, for them to be at 10, they're going to go 2-4. And for me to get to 11, they got to go 3-3. That's just 500. So what are you thinking? Are they really better than that?
are they better than what? Than the record?
Going 2-4 or 3-3 over the next 7 games.
Well, we'll have to find out.
Okay.
Well, I know one game at a time, right?
One game at a time. That's what they say.
That's what they say. Um, they played since our last video, they played the Indianapolis Colts and the Miami Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
They they did a pretty good job with the fish.
They did. Well, they did a good job on offense. I thought their defense struggled a
Mhm.
lot against the Fish. You know, they they just barely won that game. Wasn't it 30-27? They gave up a lot of points.
Um, well, let's check the score. I tell you what.
Tua stayed healthy, and although Buffalo's defense shut down Hill and Waddle, they were able to run the ball on us.
They ran the ball very, very well.
Mm-hmm. Sorry for the silence. He's looking up the score, so everybody's with us here. This was the Miami score, in case you didn't remember.
It's being difficult. You know what I
Just
have?
look up Buffalo Bill's schedule. It'll pull it right up.
I did that first, and it didn't.
Yeah, okay. Got a lot of nerve.
Yeah, no, it is. It's a new. Um, it's a fairly new computer, and I've never changed the search engine.
Okay. Look at all that stuff that was adding onto your.
Hmm.
Wow. Okay.
And UFALO. Oh, there it is.
Okay.
That's what we're used to.
Okay. So 30-27 was the Bills over the Dolphins.
Okay. Yes, that was the final score. That's great. And the Miami Dolphins ran up and down the field on them.
Yeah, they did.
Now the Bills did a decent job against the Miami wide receivers,
Mm-hmm.
but they really struggled against the run.
Mm-hmm.
They struggled against running back play, but Mostert and A-Chain, if they weren't running the ball, they could catch the ball at will.
You know, I saw an interview or a blurb anyway with Teron Johnson after that game talking about our goal was to shut down that passing game with those quick receivers, Hill and Waddle. And we did that. And although that allowed them to run, we thought we could live with that. And they did. They were leading, and Miami made it close at the end, but the Bills hung on.
Yeah, a win's a win.
Win's a
All right.
win.
The Indianapolis game,
The Bills come right back and score another 30 points.
they did.
And they were without Cooper at wide receiver. They were without Coleman at wide receiver.
Mhm.
And the Buffalo Bill running
Mr.
backs
Miss,
couldn't move the ball.
Mr. Hollis stepped up pretty
Oh
big.
my gosh, where the heck did he? I want to say, where did he come from? We never knew where he came from, but I'm used to him either not
Dropping the ball.
dropping
Let's
the
just say
ball
it, he drops the ball.
or not getting near the ball or just not being open, not getting separation, and that's what we're used to. But Curtis Samuels made a few catches. Uh, Shakir
That's
made
right.
a
That's right.
really big play, and Hollins did a great job. And the Bills' defense played very well.
Yes, it's all true.
And they were leading 30-13. And in the last couple of minutes, when we had like our scrubs in, they let Miami score, or sorry, the Indy score, and then it made it 30 to
Yeah.
20. But basically, it was
On the
30 to
last
13.
drive for Indianapolis, we
Mhm.
had Joe Andreessen out there, Buffalo Joe. We had
Mhm.
Codrington out there. Oliver was out. Daquan Jones was out. I don't even know who the heck they put in at
Mhm.
defensive tackle. Rousseau was out. So they were playing their not even second string, no, some third string.
I was calling for the game to be 36 to 12. I know that's a goofy score, but that's what I picked. I feel like it was close. It was 30 to 13.
Yeah, you did
And if
good.
they didn't score that last touchdown, but they did. So,
Yeah, you did good. That was a good pick.
yep.
Okay. The one person you didn't mention,
Mhm.
Allen. There were times in that game where he didn't look sharp, but he ran the ball,
Mhm.
and that he scored a touchdown running, and I think that helped a little bit because he also, in addition to running, he went to his famous move to the right where he scrambles out to his right and hit somebody deep.
Yeah.
Was that also? I think it was also Hollis.
Mhm.
So he escaped from two potential sacks and then threw a 40-yard downfield on the run.
Oh,
Hollis.
was that Kincaid? I'm not Knox, I mean. He hit them right over the shoulder. He dropped it right into his lap.
He did hit a deck,
Knox.
but this was
A
he
different play?
not when he ran to his right and he hit Hollis downfield.
Okay.
Hollis grabbed the ball. It was a touch under, and not that I'm criticizing the guy. He's running full speed to his right, and he's got to throw the ball 40 yards downfield. And I'm going to criticize
I know.
the receiver had to kind of dip over for it. But he grabbed the ball and he went out of bounds.
Yeah.
Actually, he went out of bounds. I think that they might have been doing a 2 minute offense there. That might have been
Mhm.
the last drive before the half. So that ignited things a little bit. He wasn't dropping balls in a lot of buckets. That was a really nice pass to Knox, though. That was a beautiful pass and really a beautiful catch. Um, all right.
I thought Josh made a couple of back to cabbage head plays.
Yeah, he was having a tough day. It's
Like
interceptions.
some bad decisions which he has not made all year. He's been good, but in this game, I don't know if it was pressure that he was getting, but he did make some bad decisions trying to get a ball in there and instead of throw it away, live for another day. And he ended up with two interceptions in that game, right?
Mhm.
Three for the year now.
Yeah, interception against Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And then two, Miami, though, he seemed to actually play better.
Mm-hmm.
They just had a bad pass. Here, we're not quite sure what was going on there. He was not at his best.
If he plays like that this week, it could be a problem.
Well, that is true. Unfortunately, the Bills don't have so much talent that they have a lot of buffer,
Mm-hmm.
so that is true. They really need him to play fairly well every game. And against good teams, he has to play
Yeah,
outside.
you don't give away points. And again, it was another week where we saw some inconsistencies on the Buffalo offensive line with penalties.
Mhm.
We saw what two
Holdings, a procedure. We had a couple holdings, a procedure, and a motion.
uh, uh, Deion Dawkins
Mhm.
didn't he move twice,
They
two
got him
times?
twice. Yeah.
Yeah, they got him twice for that. There was holding calls, and uh, you can't play like that against good teams and expect to win.
Yeah.
This is a new week,
Yeah.
so the Bills are 8-2, and they're going to be a home again this week, which is fantastic.
Yeah. Now, this is interesting. This is a piece of history. Obviously, the Bills have played Buffalo quite a bit.
You mean the Bills played Kansas City?
In fact, the Bills, yes, they play Buffalo.
Yeah, play each other.
Like Kansas City quite a bit. They don't. It just so happens with the way the playoff situation is put together. We've been going to Kansas City quite a bit. The Kansas City has come here now. They came here during COVID. So the last time they were in a regular season was during COVID, and nobody got to see it,
Mm-hmm.
and no one got to see it. So this will. They were here for the playoff game, which we lost. But it's a nice opportunity for the fans to get to see Kansas City
Oh,
in person
absolutely.
again. I think that's nice. I don't know if Tay Tay will be there or not. I think she might be in Toronto, so it's not that far for her. If she wants to, come across the border,
No, quick
get in the
snoop over the lake.
plane, yeah, get in the plane, come on
She
over.
can float down those falls and right into.
Yeah, sure. Whatever works for her. Yeah, I thought she might take a plane, but you think she'd take a barrel. That's fine.
Take a barrel.
One of the richest women in the world is going to just take a barrel over the
Mhm.
falls. Yeah. All right. What do you got, George? We got a game against Kansas City. You asked me the very important question the other day, and I'm going to ask you now. You already told me, but tell them.
What do the Bills have to do in order for them to beat Kansas City on Sunday? What is the one thing they have to do?
Go ahead and answer.
I think they have to run for at least 150 yards. You can count Josh Allen's runs in there, but I think they got to keep the ball. I think they have to keep possession of the ball and enough possession to keep Patrick Mahomes off the field.
Now, I tell you what. Now we're talking about Kansas City here and all. Something that we noted the last couple of games in the red zone. Brady likes to call Josh Allen's number to run the ball
Mm-hmm.
with design plays,
Yeah,
design runs. And
in the red zone,
they don't always work well. Now they worked for a touchdown in this last game. They don't always work very
especially
well.
when they get down to about the 10-yard line.
He likes to do it on second down.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm starting to get the feeling that Mr. Brady's running out of plays,
Well,
like scoring plays.
if
Like
he
I just
keeps
keep
doing that, he's just going to tell every team in the league what he's
you know,
doing. Play two is Josh up the middle.
last week he did it multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
I also think that not having is it Cam Coleman might be a real issue. Like we had been seeing in games, they if they get Coleman one on one, they try to play him in the end zone. Let him.
Yeah.
Well, with him not on the field, that's off the board.
We've seen Coleman make some incredible catches over a guy's shoulder, catch it with one hand,
That
and
is
bring
very
it.
true.
I mean, unbelievable catches by this kid.
But they've thrown to him in the red zone when he's got one-on-one coverage a number of times. Now they haven't all been touchdowns.
No.
You know, sometimes the pass isn't great, sometimes it's just a good defense, but they haven't all been touchdowns. But that's where I'm going with is Brady running out of ideas? Like
Yeah. That's a valid point. I mean, we've seen it so often. I don't know if anybody else has noticed it. If you haven't watched the last couple of games, you'll see it. When they get in the red zone, particularly close to the 10-yard line, if they have a first or second down, you're going to see Josh Allen do a quarterback draw up the middle. That's the play that Brady calls.
well, quarterback draw, yeah, or quarterback run, yeah, yeah.
And uh, he hasn't been
Design,
successful.
design.
I think teams are catching on to it.
Now they did this particular where he got the touchdown. They did it's not an RPO. They did an option. Fake the ball to Johnson, and Brady reads the end. The end went after Johnson, so he kept the ball and went up the middle. And that worked out really, really well. That's great. But we've seen tackle pulls, and he's trying to fall in behind blockers, and
Mm-hmm.
we've also said so. I'm interested to see. Obviously, moving the ball between the 20s is great, but you got to be able to get touchdowns.
I'm so scared of a Josh Allen injury by doing something like that. If they want a big guy to run up the middle inside the red zone, they need to develop themselves a refrigerator Perry. That's what the Bears did, and they'd hand it off to him, and he was almost impossible to stop. Don't do it with your quarterback. Don't risk the injury. He goes down, the season's done. Don't risk it with your quarterback.
Well, one of the things that everybody remembers refrigerator Perry.
Mm-hmm.
For a little while, we did see defensive linemen lining up in the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
And where I think where the issue became, they will fumble. They're not used to as strong as they are. They are not used to holding on the ball. And
right.
Teams understood go after the ball. Don't go after the player.
Then maybe a tight end who's
I just
used to hold the ball.
It really we've seen them draft Singletary and Moss and Cook and now Davis. They don't seem to be looking to draft big guys.
Mm-hmm.
Now they had a really who was the veteran last year? They had the big fella. They had Harris and they had
Yeah.
I forgot his name.
Mhm.
They could run him, they could pass him,
Murray,
and
Latavius Murray.
Latavius Murray, and Brady was using them. Um, so I don't know what
Then they picked
it,
up that kid at the end of the field that came from the Jaguars and then went to Tampa and won a Super Bowl. The running back.
oh
And then,
Fournette.
yeah, and then they never used him anyway.
Well, yeah, they picked up a guy because of an injury. They picked up a guy and stuffed him on the practice squad. That's all. They don't seem to be looking for that. And
Mhm.
I know that's one of your pet peeves. You would like to see them have a guy
I
that's
want, I
likely.
want a hammer. I want a
Yeah.
sledgehammer when you need that first down or you're at the goal line. Where's your sledgehammer? Don't rush your quarterback. That's my belief. That's the way I would run the team. But as you see, I sit in a rocking chair with my blanket. And
Yeah,
I'm a backseat coach.
I would suggest like we've talked about this. I don't know if we've talked about it on air, but like there seems to be sentiment that this offensive line might very well be the best offensive line that Allen has played behind.
Mhm.
And that might be true. I think that might be true. The first 5 years, he did not have an offensive line that was very good at blocking the run. So if they had a big bruiser back there, it would just get stopped at the line of
Mhm.
scrimmage because they didn't block well. They didn't run. I'm sorry, they pass blocked very well. They did not run block well. This particular version is essentially the same guys as they had last year, and they are definitely run blocking much better.
Mhm.
So they might have been able to use someone like that you would like right now, but they don't seem to be interested in getting that position.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's not something they're looking for.
All right. Well, now let's talk about the game coming up.
Okay, more about Kansas City Chiefs coming up. Got it.
All right. So
First, if Tay Tay shows up, what do you think she wears?
something red.
Something red. Gotcha. Now, but you think like a jacket, like a bomber jacket?
Yeah, it's gonna be
What?
cold.
It's got to be cold. Not something soft and cozy. Something maybe with leather.
Oh, and quite frankly, I'm scared. Swear.
Okay, we just got to get the Tay discussion done. Okay. All right. Back to football.
All right, if you guys noticed, I got my Stooges mug.
Got my Buffalo Bills mug.
Now, the last time I did the Three Stooges mug is because the Bills were playing like the Stooges, well, bumbling, fumbling. But this time, I'm dedicating it to the other videos out there by other people
Okay.
because you got to remember this video we make is for fans and it's by fans.
Right.
We're
Okay.
not affiliated with the team or any of the.
Well,
We're not worrying about whether somebody gets mad at us. We're telling you what we think in our opinion. So this is to the video guys that I see out there and I listen to all week saying it really doesn't matter if the Bills lose this game. How many times have you heard that?
oh, I have heard that. Yeah.
Over and over. It's okay. If they lose this, they got to get healthy for the playoffs. Let me tell you something. If the Bills lose this, they probably drop to the number 3 seed.
They could end up in. Yeah.
And there's a high likeliness that they could face the Baltimore Ravens in the opening round, who kicked the living you know what out of them.
There you go.
And why would you think that it's okay to lose the game? Well, I don't mean it's okay to lose it. I'm just saying, we got injuries and stuff. So if they lose it, it's no big deal. It's a big deal. This game is for seeding.
Mm-hmm.
The Bills got to win out.
Maybe
And
not the first seed,
yeah,
but the second
the
seed.
Bills
It's
got to
still
win out, including a win over Kansas City. And Kansas City still has to lose again. And if you look at their schedule, they're not going to.
They have they don't have the same schedule.
So the Bills are in all likeness playing for the number 2 seed. And if they're playing for the number 2 seed, it's a much easier road and very well may have to play Baltimore or Pittsburgh, one or the other, but it'll be in Buffalo. So they got to win this game because if they want to stay in contention for their number 2 seed, yeah, we're going to hope and pray that they get the number 1 seed. But you look at that Kansas City schedule, who are they going to lose to? There's nobody on that schedule they're going to lose to. And Buffalo still has a tough slate ahead. So this is a big, big game. So stop with all that baloney about how this game is not important, how this game doesn't matter, just getting healthy for the playoffs. If they get healthy for the playoffs and they're in the wrong seat, they're going to get knocked out in the first round. So that's my piece on that.
Okay.
Now, with that said, I like the Bills in this game.
Good.
I do.
Okay.
I do. When I look at Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes is not quite himself. Last year, here we're talking about a guy that wins MVPs and he's won how many Super Bowls now? Three or four, three in a row. And they're going for four in a row. Or maybe their fifth Super Bowl. I lost count. But and you've got Travis Kelce, who's having a good year.
Mhm.
But he's getting older and older. And as the year wears on and he keeps getting hit, he could wear down come the end of the year. And a new Super Bowl champion is very likely to be crowned. And when I look at Kansas City, they're without their number one running back, Pacheco.
This week, yeah.
They're without Rashid Rice. They're without Sky Moore. They got Xavier Worthy, who, unless he finds something, he's been playing like a rookie. He had one good game or something where he got behind the opposition and he scored a touchdown, but he has been catching less than 40 yards a game. He's playing like a rookie and expected. That's what you expect a rookie to do. And I'm sure he's going to have a good career, no question there. But the best receiver on their team right now might be their new guy, DeAndre Hopkins. And when I look at the Bills, even with the injuries to Keon Coleman and Amari Cooper, we have Khalil Shakir. My opinion, he's much better than DeAndre Hopkins right now. A current Khalil Shakir is much better than a current DeAndre Hopkins. And the Bills have both of their running backs intact, and Josh Allen can run as well. I think the Bills' offense is going to be able to outscore Kansas City.
Like 9-6. Is that what you're thinking?
No, I'm not thinking that. But before I give you a score, what about the defense on the defensive side?
Okay.
Terrell Bernard is playing again, and he's playing well. Taron Johnson's back in. He's been playing well the last couple of weeks. Who else we got back? Von Miller's been putting pressure on people.
Okay.
And I think the Buffalo defense has been playing pretty good. And who they got to stop this week? If Kansas City can't mount a running game and DeAndre Hopkins is their best wide receiver, then they got to shut down Travis Kelce. Easier said than done. But if they're not worrying about all these other guys, I think they could do it.
Well, unfortunately, Kansas City does still have a running game. They've been using Hunt, and he's been pretty effective for that.
Kareem Hunt, okay.
I was going to say Lamar Hunt, and I knew that was wrong.
No.
Kareem Hunt. All right. So they got that. And the Bills have, we never talk about it like that, but their offensive line is playing well. It's not a top 5 offensive line, but they're playing well. Last week, they probably went up against the best defensive front.
Mm-hmm.
And it showed.
I don't know. Baltimore was pretty good as well. And they got their butts whooped.
So if Indianapolis is the best or the second best defensive front, it showed.
Yeah.
It showed against our offense struggled with them, okay? Particularly in running the ball. Now, we'll see that Kansas City also known to have a pretty good front.
Well, they got
the
Chris
best
Jones,
defensive lineman in the game.
Yeah, they got a good guy, and he can put some pressure on. He can create some havoc,
and he's not alone. They got other guys there.
I don't think that they're as strong as you think outside of Chris Jones.
Well, okay, we'll have to see how it goes. I think that right now, every guy on their defensive line you could swap with our guy, except for Chris Jones. Again, that if it's right end, left end, or tackle, other than Chris Jones, they're still better than our guys.
I think they got a rookie tackle out there.
Every single. Still better than our guys.
Mhm.
Certainly better than our rookie. And their rookie wide receiver, better than our rookie wide receiver, because he's playing. In this game, he's going to be better.
Mhm.
Coleman's going to be sitting in the stands, so he's going to play better than Coleman.
Yeah, but he's not going to play as well as
Doesn't have to. He's got to beat Coleman, and he is better than Coleman.
he's got to beat
Their tight
Curtis
end
Samuels, and that's
better than our tight
he's
end.
got to beat Curtis Samuels. I
Their
don't
tight
think he
end
will.
better than our tight end.
Their tight end better than our tight. Yeah,
And then if you want to say that Shakir is going to be the best wide receiver on the field, okay.
yeah.
But Dennis Hopkins is going to be number two. The Bills don't have anybody else and anybody else. The three guys are going to pull up from the practice squad. You're going to count any of them as good as
I don't.
that's
I
absurd.
don't know. We
Hopkins is playing well for them.
you saw
He's
what
making
you
a
saw
difference.
what Hollins did last week for the Bills.
I did. I saw him have his what was most likely his career game.
Mhm.
I have after seeing 10 games, I don't see any reason why he wouldn't play like he played the other 9
Mhm.
games against the Kansas City Chiefs versus the way. So again, Hopkins would be better. You know, I I don't know how this game is going to go, but Kansas City is good for a reason, and we have difficulty matching up with them.
Well, if you're Kansas City's defense, do you start our pass game or do you try and stop our running game?
I think why wouldn't they feel they can do both?
And if you're the Bills, do you have to stop their running game or their passing game?
Can they stop either?
Yes.
What running game have we stopped this year?
The ones that we've decided to concentrate on.
Which ones? Oh, you might need to look at the.
I'd have to look them up.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, look at the schedule for that. Like,
Okay, let's see. Sorry, guys, my eyes are not there.
you know what?
We certainly stopped the Seahawks. We certainly,
We did.
outside of the one
is it
run by
Kenneth Davis,
Kenneth Walker,
Kenneth Walker.
on the
He did not. He did.
Jonathan
Okay.
Taylor, outside of the 157-yard run, he was under 3 yards a carry. So we stopped him every time except one run.
Yeah,
The Jets, we stopped them running. We we've done it all year. The Titans, they couldn't run on us.
that is true. The Titans could not run here.
Well, look, you can't help the
That is
schedule.
true.
Yeah.
The Titans could run. I would say that Jonathan Taylor had a good game against the
Mhm.
Bills.
Mhm.
He ran the ball, he caught the ball. He ran the ball and he caught the ball. They couldn't stop him. And the 59-yard touchdown, that counts. That counts. Why didn't they stop it?
Yeah.
I don't know. How many of those are they going to give up on Sunday?
None.
Okay, good.
I mean, I just don't see it the same way as you do.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Actually, I don't either. I was playing devil's advocate.
Oh, okay, okay. All right. So I think the Bills are going to beat them.
Home field could be important there.
Well,
Home field could really help them.
the bookmakers are giving the Bills -1. So at home, you're only getting 1 point.
I heard 2.5 today, so I don't know.
Okay, 2.5 today. Okay, I thought it was 2.5, and I saw somebody on one of their podcasts showing it was 1 point. Now I thought it was 2.5. All right, 2.5 sounds more like it. I I think Kansas City, and if you've watched their games in the last few weeks, they are coming from behind and winning in the fourth quarter. And the Bills have been winning in the fourth quarter. So I think it's going to be a battle of the Titans in that fourth quarter.
Could be. Yeah, could be.
And
That would sound like the last team to have the ball
Mhm.
wins kind of game, which these two teams are kind of used to.
Mhm. But I got more confidence in Josh Allen at home, knowing especially if it's windy at all, than Patrick Mahomes. So I'm going to give the Bills a win, and I think Kansas City is going to be 2 scores down and be able to get one in the fourth quarter, and the Bills are not going to stop them. Get the ball back, run out the clock.
Thoughts like why the Bills have had slow starts. Offensively, they've had slow starts. Sometimes defensively too, but the offense is the one
It's like a boxer. They just stand in the middle of the ring getting hit just so they can figure out what kind of punches is the guy throwing this time. One of these days they're going to get smacked in the mouth like they did in Baltimore and not get up from the mat. And that's what happened to them then. But every other game, they've been able to do those adjustments on the fly. But you also have almost everybody back on defense. Matt Milano's out. Other than him, really, you got Spector out, the third string, a third string linebacker. So other than him, I think the Bills' defense is pretty solid.
I
Pretty
want to
good.
make sure that what I'm hearing in between the lines is the defense has no excuses.
I don't think they do.
Okay.
They shouldn't. I mean, they got who they've got. It's not. It's not like they got second and third stringers out there and they're doing the best they can, like they did in the playoff game last year. And they still almost won. But this year, they're missing Matt Milano. Key piece, no
Yeah,
question
sure.
about it.
Certainly.
Key piece, no question about it. But um,
They haven't had him all season.
Dorian Williams has really been playing well. Bernard is back now for a couple of weeks. He's got his legs under him. Teron Johnson's been playing well. Got an interception this week.
Yeah.
Smart player.
I watched the Miami game with you, and during the game, you're bitching that Dorian Williams is being targeted and he's not coming through. But now he's always playing well. That they're taking advantage of Dorian Williams.
I'm not.
You remember saying it now, but now he's playing well. No, I got you. He is playing well. You're right. He is.
It's possible I could have said something. It's definitely in the realm of possibility. Yeah, I was saying they keep targeting this guy. They keep targeting this guy on passing downs because he hasn't figured out how to freaking.
Listen, maybe he'll get an interception. He's due for a nice interception, or a sack. All right, that'd be nice.
I tell you, he did one stupid thing last week that I saw, where he's watching the running back in the backfield, and he's coming from the middle of the field, and he runs to his right, and he overruns where the running back runs up the opening. He overruns it, tries to cut back. They go tackle the running back, falls on his face. That was, yeah, that was not good, Dorian. Not good. You got to do better than that. But John, other than that, I mean, we got who we got. They're not a bunch of scrubs. They're decent players, or we've got some really good players out there. And I think so. Douglas Benford certainly, Bernard, Teron Johnson. We're seeing some pressure put on by Von Miller now. Rousseau's been playing well.
It would really help if Von would be able to play well.
Something's going on with Ed Oliver. He's not the same, or they're just double or triple teaming this guy every week because he's not impactful at all. I'm sure at the end of the season we're going to find out. Oh well, he had a foot injury. We're going to hear something that we didn't know about.
Like we found out with Rousseau.
Yeah, we're going to.
Well, there'll be an excuse.
There'll be an excuse. Yeah.
So, but it would really help. I think it would really help if Von Miller would have a day.
Mm-hmm.
He could be a difference maker, and he's not one that Kansas City would necessarily prepare for because he hasn't really shown much.
If you pull up the Kansas City schedule, and they've won every game so far, other than the very first week, I think they played Baltimore. Other than that, tell me the good defenses they played.
Last week, Denver's got a good defense and shut them down.
Denver scored
14
early, 14 points. They scored 2 touchdowns quick, and they couldn't score again until the last seconds of the game. Get the field goal.
All right, there you go. Well, the Bills hold the Chiefs to 17 points. Denver did. Right?
Yeah, Denver did. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the Bills hold the Chiefs.
I don't think so.
Okay. What do you got for a score, George?
I think we got 24-20.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
So not even a field goal. Like not even a field goal. Like a 4-point difference.
Yeah, I got 24-20. I got 4 scores for Kansas City, 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals, and 4 scores for the Bills, 3 touchdowns and a field goal. And that 1 touchdown field goal is going to be the difference. The Bills are going to be able to score 1 extra touchdown than Kansas City can.
Okay.
That's my
Okay.
score, 24-20.
I'm still thinking here. All right, I'm going to say like 28-24 Buffalo.
Okay.
Oh, I don't want to say. I don't want to say. I want to make it a field goal. So 30-27
Oh,
Buffalo. I
no.
want it to be a field goal.
You think the Bills can actually hang 30 points on Kansas City's defense? All right.
Uh, I'm wishful thinking here.
Okay.
We got this incredible running game.
They did not vote to make marijuana legal down here in Florida.
No.
So I don't know what you've been smoking to come up for
Yeah,
30 points. But I'll be the first one to go buy a cake if they scored 30 points.
You'll be the first one to bake cake.
I want a cake anyway. I like chocolate cake.
Chocolate. Oh, chocolate cake is
I
good.
made a nice pot of sauce today, John?
Yes, you did.
Macaroni.
Yes, you
We
did.
had delicious dinner. Pork ribs in there, meatballs. We pulled out some. I'm gonna make meatball sandwiches this week.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. If we only had a chocolate cake.
All right. You got anything else?
No. Other than, stop coming up with these kooky things about things don't matter. You just got to get right. No, everything matters in football. It's a game of inches, not a game of injuries.
I'll tell you what. Listen, so you got your three stooges for that. But
Mm,
what I've been hearing, in addition to that, over and over, they're going to rest guys.
mm.
They're going to rest guys or guys coming off injuries. So we got Milano coming off an injury. I got news for you.
Because they're going to be out the next week, too.
Before the bye, St. Coleman. Oh, they wouldn't play him because, that way you get extra weeks because of the bye week. Look, there's only 17 games.
Mm-hmm.
If a guy has an injury, if the injury won't get worse and he can play with it, like deal with the pain, they go. You don't hold a guy out this week because next week he's going to have a bye week and then he'll have 2 weeks off and we're going to get ready for it. They don't do that. If a guy can go, they go. Um, these are world class athletes, and since they were 14, if they can play, they play. That is their nature. If they were the kind of guy that wouldn't do that, they would never have made it to the NFL.
Yeah, I do think there are some guys out there that they get along in their career and then they're concerned about injury, future injury, and they've already made their money and they don't want to be gimping around during the rest of their life. That maybe
Guys who should have retired.
Yeah,
Guys who should have retired. Guys who hang on a little too long. Sure.
But
sure.
I think most guys
You
are
mean like
playing.
our two safeties?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think most guys are playing.
Micah Hyde and Jordan
because-
Poyer should have retired 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think they're playing because they love the game. They love the competition. They want to show that they're best in the world by going out and being the best in the world.
Right.
And not sitting around going, "Oh, I got a boo-boo."
They feel like they can make a difference.
Yeah,
I live for the team. They could be a difference maker for the team.
I heard one guy describe it today that maybe you heard it too. Amari Cooper, they said he's wearing a soft cast on his hand for his wrist. And so they didn't know if that means he's going to be out of the game or not. But he was able to hold a ping pong ball. I don't know, did you see that one?
Mhm.
Because he was playing ping pong and he was able to hold a ping pong ball with that soft cast on. So he should be able to catch the ball. Now, I don't know.
I think that was a joke.
Oh, you do?
He could do the thing with the ping pong ball, but that wouldn't. The idea that because he could do a ping pong ball, hold the ping pong means that he could catch a football. That was a joke.
Oh, okay. I was putting that in my Three Stooges cup here. But I mean, if the guy's got almost a broken wrist and he needs a cast, you give him a break.
Well, the guy who said it was kind of like a stooge. So I hear you. All right. You got anything else? We are at 40
not yet.
We're at 41 minutes.
No,
so
I have nothing else this week.
Okay.
There'll be some important things to talk about after this game when we see the results.
Yeah. And they have a bye week after that. Is that right? Okay. Everyone, enjoy the game. Go Bills.
Go Bills!